What up? Y'all already know this is Punsh, Drum Boxing, aka Mr. Moo, shot himself. Ladies and gentlemen, PBC is desperately trying to be Canelo Alvarez's mistress. Yeah, listen to me clearly. PBC is desperately trying to be Canelo Alvarez's mistress. They wanted to give up everything, and Canelo Alvarez ain't even chose. They wanted to sacrifice everything, the power, the great opportunity, the Vajiji juice, the punani. They wanted to give it all up to Canelo Alvarez. And he ain't even chose. You're willing to give up David Benavidez versus Charlo. You're willing to give up Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl the True Spence. Willing to give it all for Canelo Alvarez. Now, you know Canelo Alvarez, the king of the sport of boxing, El Rey, the pound for pound #1, libra por libra número uno, Saul Canelo Alvarez, a.k.a. King Nelo, a.k.a. Cartelo, a.k.a. Payday, a.k.a. get the fuck out of here, man, if you don't want to believe it. Canelo Alvarez deserves every right to have the power that he has. Canelo Alvarez has earned the right to have the power that he has earned the right to pick and choose whatever he wants to do. The most seasoned fighter, a great ambassador to the sport of boxing. He has voided every frustration in the sport of boxing. If you're frustrated that the fighters nowadays don't fight enough like back in the days, Canelo Alvarez does it. Canelo Alvarez fights champions. He's going to be fighting Dimitri Bivol this Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. Today, Cinco de Mayo, so saludo. But May 7th, Las Vegas, for his 14th championship bout at the age of 31. Canelo Alvarez is the man. But that doesn't mean that we can't have other great things in the sport of boxing. But since PBC have submitted to sucking the toes of Canelo Alvarez and not willing and not willing to sacrifice great fights like David Benavidez versus Jermall Charlo or Caleb Plant together, like the fight that the fans really want to see in the sport of boxing, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl of True Spence. You already know what Tom Brown have stated, that there was an offer on the table. We've been discussing that for the past few days, that they was willing to put Canelo Alvarez versus Jermall Charlo. Damn, it's fly. They was willing to put Jermall Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez for 45 mil, and then after that get Earl Spence versus Canelo Alvarez on the catchweight 164, or David Benavidez. Which this is the reason why we see David Benavidez fighting Lemieux. This is the reason why we see Jermall Charlo fighting Sulecki, and this is the reason why they waited for Canelo Alvarez to make the decision when he made the decision going to the zone, and then they announced a week after Ugas versus Earl the True Spence. They was never, well, their intentions was never to put Terrence Bud Crawford or Earl Spence, because if Canelo Alvarez would have taken that deal, that we would have never seen. I mean, we haven't watched it either, and I hope they can make that fight, but the Earl Spence versus Bud Crawford was never going to come through fruition, because PBC has given or wants to give their powers, their morals, their principle of the potential great fights that they could put up. They're banking on Canelo Alvarez. And since Eddie Reynoso, yesterday in the interview in the Media Week, have stated that after, you know, Bivol, if they, of course, beat Bivol, and then the Triple G fight, the trilogy, which I'm not a supporter of the trilogy fight. I think that Canelo Alvarez is beyond that trilogy fight. But they said that they wanted to fight Jermall Charlo next year. That they looking forward to fight Jermall Charlo, and they looking forward to fight Earl of True Spence next year on a catchweight. Which tells me that, you know what? They are going to hold on to David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo. They're not gonna sacrifice them to fight anybody. Now they actually thinking about, like, oh man, yo, shit, we could put Earl Spence now with Terrence Bud Crawford, but Canelo Alvarez is what Eddie Reynoso, his manager and trainer, said, yo, you know what? We could put up. They're willing to fight Earl Spence. Why are we going to sacrifice Earl Spence? I mean, we don't know how much money Terrence Bud Crawford and Earl Spence can make. I mean, it's a great fight, but are we necessarily think that that's going to bank in more than 400K pay-per-view buys? They can't promote a lick. I mean, the fight promotes itself, but I think it's going to take more. I think it needs to sell himself more than the fight selling itself. You understand what I'm trying to say? I think that Earl Spence and Bud Crawford need to go out there and sell that fight for them to fund the fight. Because Earl Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford demand a good payday. But now I'm thinking, just listening to Eddie Reynoso saying that we looking forward to fight Jamar Charlo. We looking forward to fight the catchweight with Earl the True Spence. Why are they going to sacrifice them now? And this is the reason why we see Lemieux and Charlo. The reason why we see Lemieux and Benavidez, Sulecki and Charlo. They ain't going to sacrifice nobody. Canelo Alvarez power and the interests of Canelo Alvarez have PBC in a chokehold. And it's not Canelo Alvarez's fault. People are infatuated with Canelo Alvarez and they feel like that's the only guy that can make them money. So one by one, PBC, instead of putting these great fights with David Benavidez, Caleb Platt, David Benavidez, and Charlo, Terrence Bud Crawford, and Earl Spence, they at least hook up Charlo with Demetrius Andre, but they don't want to work with Demetrius Andre. You heard what Samson said with David Benavidez, that they'll talk to fight Demetrius Andre, just to talk to them, just for Demetrius Andre to talk to them is going to take $7 million. Ladies and gentlemen, they are slaves to the potential that Canelo Alvarez will sign to them. They are mistresses to Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo Alvarez, he got wifey. He got himself. And he does whatever he wants to do. And he's going to be fighting Dimitri Bivol. While PBC is just waiting on, wait guys, wait Fox, wait Showtime, wait. Well, what about David Benavidez and Charlo? Wait, we have an opportunity. It's only 1 year. The year comes quick. Let's Cinco de Mayo. We could bring Charlo. We could bring Canelo Alvarez to fight Charlo. $45 million. They was going to give $55 million to Earl the True Spence. You think? How much you think Earl Spence is going back in? You think that he's going to sacrifice Earl the True Spence to fight Terrence Bud Crawford? Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't never going to see that fight. I'm going to keep on saying that we never going to see Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl the True Spence. I'm going to say it right now. Prove me wrong. I've been saying it for almost 4 years. You are never going to see that fight. And now, more than ever, they're never going to sacrifice David Benavidez, Jamar Charlo, or Earl the True Spence anymore. They're going to come up with something. The best that they could do is Keith Thurman and probably Earl Spence. I think they would do that. I think they would. Earl Spence, maybe Terrence Bud Crawford. You keep him there. Look, I'll give you Earl Spence, but nah, you gotta handle my boy, my other golden goose, Keith and Tom Thurman. Something like that. Or make up an injury or something like that. Or probably put Stanionis and make sure that the WBA, already know the WBA and PBC, you know what I'm saying? How about mandate Stanionis, or we're going to strip him? Yeah. Just say that, Mendoza, just say that you're going to strip Earl the True Spence if you don't fight Stanionis. PBC fight right there. Canelo power shouldn't be a detrimental to the sport of boxing. And it's not. But they're making it detrimental to the sport of boxing. It shouldn't be. Because I believe that Canelo Alvarez is actually picking great opponents. Now, people be like, oh, somebody, they cherry picking. Nah. Cherry picking is easy pickings. Dimitri Bivol, it ain't no easy picking for Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up. And when we talk about the sport of boxing, people that move up, what we say, daring to be great. Canelo Alvarez is daring to be great. He's enhancing his legacy. We can't say the same for the rest of them. Let me know what y'all think, man. Again, I believe that PBC is desperately trying to be the mistress of Canelo Alvarez. He is not yours. You have the opportunity to have a great house, a great home. You have the opportunity to have a great home. Stay home, be a hubby. You understand what I'm trying to say? You know how, I don't know if you dudes out there that's been in a relationship and you got that girl on the side and stuff like that, and she's willing to do whatever. She's willing to do whatever for you. She does everything for you anyway. She does more for you than her own household or the potential that she has. She could have an opportunity to have a great guy that be there for her, but she's like, nah, I want him. But he's married, but I want him. And they willing to live their life as a mistress. PBC is willing to let Canelo Alvarez dictate their next move. And Canelo Alvarez is not in the business of PBC. I don't know. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. I don't know, you could agree or disagree. I'm just calling it how I see it. But in the comment box, you could better my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm pessimistic about Terrence Bud Crawford or Earl the True Spence. Prove me wrong. Announce it. Anyway, love y'all. God bless, and on to the next.